All right, hey guys, how's it going? Tonight we want to do a how-to video for how to set up your rig for float fishing for steelhead or salmon. So it's exactly the same setup. The only thing that's different is the leader line and hooks are different when you salmon fish versus steelhead fish for us anyway. So let's get right into it. All right, first you're going to see a rig already tied up here. We're going to start with our bobber. All right, our bobber, this is in a Raven 11 gram bobber. The 11 grams basically tells you how much weight it can hold up, and you want to get it to float right at that white line so that it floats nice and smooth, and that any little nibble or movement or take, it'll take that bobber under nice and easily. There's also some tubing here. This tubing here, there's two pieces, one for the stem on the top and one for the stem on the bottom. Those go on your main line first, and then it allows you to just slide that bobber and change your depth. So this fixed bobber is a nice way to go when you're not fishing very deep water. I'd say anywhere from as shallow as 2 feet up to as deep as, well, how deep do we fish these? 6 feet?
The
7 feet?
deepest I've done is like 8 feet, I think, at most. But
yeah,
it's really hard to. You need a slip bobber if you're gonna go any deeper than 8 feet.
Yeah.
Mostly.
Yep, that's exactly right. If you're going to go deeper than 8 feet, you really need either a super long pole. If you're going to have this bobber 8 foot above your weight, then you're going to really want a slip bobber or a really long rod to be able to cast it and keep all the line out of the water. So, main line. Let's talk about the main line for a second. What pound test would you recommend for steelhead first?
For steelhead?
Just the main line braid here.
Probably 12-pound test to 15.
Oh, that's the leader. That's the leader line. Yep, this is your main line. So the main line is going to be like 30,
yeah,
30 or 40. Yep, so 30 or 40 pound braid is our main line. For salmon, this gets up to 50 pound braid. And then you'll see a swivel, about a size 2 or size 4 swivel. These are micro swivels we use for steelhead. And then the next section of line is our weight leader. And because that's an 11 gram float, I match this weight to that float. This is a 3/8 ounce egg sliding weight. It's an egg sinker, just slides up and down the line. Really simple. I've got a bead above it and a bead below the weight to protect the, what am I protecting? I'm protecting the knot.
Yeah, so it doesn't get stuck. We've had it get stuck, so that's why we put the bead there.
Yeah, put the bead there to prevent the knot from getting stuck into the weight, and also it can damage our knot and break the line. Yeah. So this weight leader here is about a 17 pound test for steelhead. So 30 pound main line braid to 17 pound fluorocarbon weight leader. It's a little short section, about a foot and a half long, a foot to a foot and a half long. And then from there, we get into our hook leaders. So now you can tell them what we run for pound test on steelhead for our hook leaders.
12 pound to 15 pound. If you're in logs, you're probably going to want to go 15. But if you're like in open water, you're going to want to go to like 12 or 15 if you just want to get them in a little faster. So
talk to them about water clarity. When do we go to lighter line?
Lighter beads.
Lighter pound test.
Yeah,
so if the water is like super clear, how light will we go sometimes?
Super clear for the line, we'd probably go 10 pound test.
Yep.
And then that's like almost the same thing for the beads. We've got like, so these are pretty overall tiny right here because the water was clear tonight. But we've had sometimes where it's super muddy. It's like looks like chocolate in the water, and then we switch to these beads. It's like a size 12 millimeter. Size 12 millimeter bead.
Exactly right. So these are 8 millimeter beads that we ran tonight in clear water. And we'll run 10s in clear water, but like Brody said, we'll run 12s and even as much as 14s in our muddy water when it's pretty stained. But most of the time, 8s and 10s will work fine. And then the leader line, you can do mono or fluoro. I think fluoro is maybe a little better. but you know, we use some Seeger, STS, but there's a lot of good lines on the market. It doesn't really matter. Get a good fluorocarbon line. Steelhead, I know, low clear water. Some people will want to go really light and they'll want to go down to 6 pound or even 4 pound if the fish are really finicky. But know your river system. Your river system will tell you usually a lot. The fish in that system will really tell you whether they're finicky, if they've been in the river system for a long time, or if you know, if they're just fresh in from the lake. You know, they're usually not too picky. They'll bite pretty easily. So anyway, let's get down to the weight leader, or the hook leader here. We've got a couple of beads set up on our top hook. We've got a double hook rig, and as you'll see, we're fishing really shallow water tonight, so this leader length is only about it's only about a foot, maybe foot. Yes, it's only about a foot for that first leader. That is not the norm. That is just because we were fishing shallow, low water, that we needed to get everything set up, suspending properly. So we weren't able to have a longer leader. Normally I'd like a 2 foot section on my first hook, and then another, you know, 18 to 24 inches on my second hook. So, you know, that's it. And then we tie us, you know, either a snell knot or an egg loop knot, whatever you want to call it. Basically, they operate the same way to this first hook, and then tie a bottom hook down, a dropper, another bead, and we put the bead about three fingers above the hook, 2 to 3 fingers above the hook, and that's it. So that's for Steelhead. That's pretty much the rig. So again, there's 3 sections of line. So just to summarize, there's three different weight sections of fishing line. You got your main line, which is for Steelhead. For us, is a 30-pound braid. I use the high-vis yellow just because it's easier to see. And then we go to our weight leader, which is 17 pound. And what that does is it allows us to change up our actual hook leaders depending on water clarity and what we want to fish. So with 17-pound weight leader, it allows us to go as strong really as 15-pound test, and as little as like 8 or 6 pound, but usually we don't fish much less than 10-pound test. And the reason we have the weight leader at 17 is so that if we get snagged, then what? What happens if we get snagged? What doesn't break off?
The line.
The weight. The weight and the bobber. So when we snag up and lose stuff, we're only losing our hooks. Yeah. Okay?
I don't think we've ever lost a bobber since we started doing it this way.
Yeah. Well, sometimes we'll lose a bobber if
we get snagged on this.
If this line will cut this tubing over time, we just kind of want to keep an eye on that. But that's our Steelhead setup. So for salmon, let's change gears. Let's get into salmon. What are we doing for salmon here? So the hook size changes. We go from on Steelhead size 4 hook, and these I use blood run, or not, yeah, they're blood run tail out hooks. They're a nice hook, size 4 for Steelhead. And then for salmon, I use a 1/0 Gamakatsu big river bait hook for salmon. And you know, then it's just a matter of what line strength. And for salmon, the only thing that's changing is our weight, our pound test on our lines. 50-pound mainline braid, right? Yeah. Then usually we run 25-pound
to 30.
Or 30-pound on the weight.
Yeah.
And then for our hooks, we'll run 20 or 25, just depending on
where we're at.
Where we're at. Yeah. So that's going to do it for this video. I hope you liked it. If you have questions, let us know. We tried to cover a lot. We didn't cover the slip bobber setup, but that's pretty easy to figure out. There's just a bobber stop you put on your line first, and then the slip bobber will slide up and down the line. So anyway, that's our rig. We fish bobbers a lot, don't we?
Yes.
Yeah, we like it. I mean, it works for us. It's a pretty simple way to fish, and it does catch quite a few fish. So thanks for watching. Anything you want to add at the end?
Nope.
Nope. All right. You think we missed anything?
Nope.
No?
Good.
All right. If we missed something, let us know. Yeah. Thanks for watching, and feel free to ask any questions or tell us if we're doing something wrong. I know some people might look at the beads that I've got above and below the weight leader and they'll probably say, well, why are you using beads that, you know, you fish with? And to be honest, I know that they might bite those because they're right next to the weight when it slides, but I'm not too worried about it. It's right next to the weight when it's coming through. It's just something I'm not really that worried about. It could happen, but I'm not going to lose sleep over it if I get a bite every now and then on something next to the egg sinker. So, all right, that'll do it for this video. Thanks for watching our how-to video to how to fish for steelhead and salmon with bobbers. All right.
Thanks.
You want to send them with a send-off? All right. Thanks for watching. Catch us in the next video.
Yeah.
Bye.
You good?
Yeah.